Public land. When you're looking for a campsite and you turn off on some little two-track, you have high hopes for a beautiful campsite, but you don't know what's down at the end. You just have your fingers crossed, and you're hoping for the best. You want a peaceful campsite, clean campsite, something where you can maybe spend a few days. So we take a chance on little roads like this one across public land. And lots of times, we have to turn around and go back out. Sometimes though, we do all right. For Linda and I, this is what true boondocking is all about. That's a relatively new term. We never used it in the past. But for us, boondocking isn't sitting out in the middle of some wide open spot with dozens of other outfits around you. We like to get out to where we're all alone. Once in a while, you end up at a gate like this one. Is it public land on the other side? There's no signs. Usually on a public land gate, it'll say, please close gate. And you're welcome to go through. In this case, that's private land on the other side. So you turn around, find a different direction to go. In our case this time, you're welcome to camp out here. This is public land on this side of the fence. Wonder what's down this direction. Curious as to what's over the hill here and around this bend. Well, sometimes when you're just looking for a place to spend the night, you discover a real gem. It doesn't happen real often, but it happened for us right here. Wait till you see the campsite that this turned into. Yeah, there's a fire pit and a view. Wait, kind of a big view. Oh my goodness. That kind of a view. Yeah, this turned out to be a rare gem. Spots like this don't happen very often. We find a lot of nice places. If you watch this channel, you know that's true. But yeah, this one was pretty special. Linda and I had some fun with the metal detector yesterday. We spent an hour and a half going around this area. There's several campfire rings, and it was kind of interesting what we found. Of course, the main feature here of this campsite is this huge campfire ring here. It's very big. Then there's a really old one here. You can just barely see the outline of it. We also metal detected this area. But it's not so much what we found as what we didn't find. Nothing fancy. We didn't find anything really modern though. The most modern thing here is like this pull tab can. Now we found a couple of pull tabs. Man, usually you find a lot of pull tabs. We only found a couple, and pull tabs are like mid-1960s to early 70s. So even this can is 50 years old. But then there's other things we found, like the most modern thing, and it's not that modern, is this. This is a really old zipper pull. There's a, you can see there's a pull top off a can, but it's one of the originals. It's really old. Super old bottle cap, not twist top. An old style tent peg. We found a bunch of old wire. which, you know, if you were camping. This one, oh, this is a snare wire. You know, for catching an animal. Can you see the snare on there on the end? Let me get the camera back a little further. See the loop they made on that? That's a snare wire. Well, that explains that piece of wire. Super old tin can. Another thing that's interesting is the brass, the cartridge cases. This one is fairly modern, you know. Well, that could be 50 years old too, I don't know. But the thing is that usually you find a lot of brass. We didn't find that much. There is no modern brass here. 9mm, 45 ACP. There's a 270 in here somewhere, a 30-06, and 30-30. All calibers that have been around for 100 years or more. In addition to that, a very, very old disintegrating heel off a cowboy boot. There is one campfire ring that I found interesting up here. It's super old, sagebrush growing up into it or around it. This is just a really old one. It's got a flat stone laying in the bottom, probably for setting on top of the coals to cook. But the thing about this particular fire ring is there was no metal at all around it. Nothing. Not a bottle cap, nothing. No metal, no glass. This could be a Native American campfire ring, I don't know. But at the very least, it's a really old one. So it kind of looks like no one's been camping here for quite a while. It's pretty old stuff. It's fun metal detecting and poking around looking for artifacts to let you know who's been here. It's always nice to know who's been in an area before you. And we did the metal detecting here. Now we're going to go out and look for ancient artifacts. Arrowheads, flakes. I'm not counting on finding anything, but, you know, stone tools, but we'll go look. Of course, remember, don't bring anything home with you. It's a $40,000 fine. But that doesn't mean that you can't find it, photograph it, and think about whose it was and what they were doing here. I look for a glitter in the sun. I look for a different color. We did find one little flake, and it was reddish orange. Kind of a dark, shiny reddish orange. In lots of places, of course, the humus is going to be, they're going to be buried underneath inches of dirt. Other areas are pretty rocky. Like, look at this area up here. You know? You might find something laying on the surface here. But this is like fishing. It's not about catching fish. It's about going fishing and the fun of it, the relaxation. And when I get out here and I'm just poking around like this, I don't care if I find anything or not. You know, my mind drifts and I think about things and I poke along and I just enjoy the being here. I'll tell you what, there's nothing out here that shows you that mankind was here at all. There is no pull tabs, no cigarette butts, no nothing. That's kind of pleasant in its own way. Oh, I spoke too soon. Well, it looks like they opened this can with a knife. So this has been laying here a little while. The bottom of the can is sealed with a drop of solder. This is really old. I don't know what this was. Maybe a big can of peaches. Who knows? See the drop of solder there in the middle? Sealed with lead. Yeah, a can like that, probably late 1800s, maybe very early 1900s, but I think that lead solder puts it back pretty far. This was a big deep ravine right here, and now it's shallowed up. So we're going to go through and then get up on top this next ridge and walk that next ridge all the way out. That's the idea. Nope. Big pine tree forest. I think this is the Gonagain National Forest, but we're between Gonagain and Lake City, Colorado, down along Highway 149. Well, other than signs of hunters, you know, like tin cans and things like that. Really old stuff, though. Nothing new. You know, I'm not seeing anything, but you know what, though? This is high elevation and really dry. There's no water around here. However, within 20 miles of here, there's a lot of lakes. If I was a Native American, I wouldn't be living up here. I'd be living down along the lake. Life would be a lot better there. It'd be warmer because you're down lower. You'd have fish, you'd have drinking water, probably sheltered areas, you know, to make, you know, an encampment. Up here, like I say, I'm not seeing too much, but also now in this pine forest, it's all pine needles, so it's hard to see anything at all anyway. I was kind of hoping I might see some kind of a more of a recent structure, you know, from maybe pioneer days or something like that. So I'm still poking around and having fun doing that. Up here is some stacked stone. I think it's a survey marker, but boy, they sure went through a lot of trouble for it. Look at this. These usually have a date on them. U.S. General Land Office, 1922, and again in 1995. And of course it gives the exact coordinates of this spot. Now I know exactly where I am. So you older folks like me, you know exactly how they got that position back there, how they knew exactly where they were. For you younger folks, if there's any watching this channel, there's a few of you, they didn't have GPS, of course. They didn't have satellites, of course. They used a sextant, an artificial horizon, and a chronometer. A chronometer is a really, really accurate timepiece. And that's how they got their latitude and longitude. The same as ships at sea back then, except they didn't have to use an artificial horizon. They had a really good one. Well, the little flakes that I've found have been that reddish color. I think that's jasper. So if you get into an area and you're doing what I'm doing and you find some flakes, that tells you what color to look for. If you're looking at the ground, walking along, some places where they have a lot of good stone like onyx and obsidian and jasper and things that flint, things like that. It could be any color. So in that case, you look for something shiny, because those old tools, even though they've been laying on the ground for 1,000 years, they still shine. So you kind of look for a glint in the sun. That helps. Man, I just had to just stop and just take this in. Sound of the wind and the smell of the pine trees. The air is warm. It's nice. I wish you guys could all experience this. But I know that some of you can't. I'm glad you watch the videos and come along, though. I really am glad of that. Linda doubled back a while ago because we are over 9,000 feet. The air is pretty thin, and she just, you know, wanted to not continue climbing with me because it was quite a ways up from, you know, where she turned around and went back from. So she's back at camp, because out in the distance I saw her walking into camp. I could see it from up here, so I'm headed down that way now.
So our camp is through those trees somewhere. We came up this way along the plains and down that gully or ravine and up this hill up to the top. There's some interesting rocks up there, and I bet in the springtime it's all green and lots of wildlife, but right now it's kind of dry and no one's up there except for Rick. He continued on that way somewhere, and I know I can find my way back, but hope he can.
Well, this is funny. I was just standing here yesterday photographing the beautiful colors on this tree stump here, really tall. It's about 12 feet tall, I guess. But we had left camp, hiked clear around, way down around. Been out for a couple hours now. Came back along top this ridge line up above me here, and then came down, picking my way down through there, and ended up exactly where I was standing yesterday, right here. Oh, yeah. The light looked better on it yesterday. I'm not too far from camp. Isn't it pretty out though? Well, even though I didn't find anything too special or special at all, that was a whole lot of fun. Mainly because it was just so pretty up there. It's just nice to be out in the woods poking around sometimes.
We hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Yeah, glad you guys came along. Hey, please do the thing. Please subscribe. A lot of you aren't subscribed and you've been watching this channel for a long time. Please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. We'll see you around. Good comment though, okay?